Hi there, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to talk about this idea of how forgiveness is something that maybe you might be trying too hard to create in your life, especially when you're dealing with the aftermath of a narcissistic relationship. And I know you, and I know you really well, and I know you're this kind of person that wants to forgive. You want to forgive. You're compassionate, you're empathetic, you're a spiritual person, and you don't enjoy feeling angry or resentful or any of those unpleasant negative emotions we feel when we're sorting out narcissistic trauma. And so sometimes we have a tendency to kind of try to bypass feeling certain feelings that are necessary in the healing process, such as anger, such as feeling betrayed, having finally seen the truth about what was happening in a relationship. And the feelings that come up, they can be unpleasant. However, they're so important for us to process. And actually, it's really impossible to get to a place of forgiveness. And I'm going to talk about what forgiveness means to me in just a second. To get to a place of forgiveness before we've actually processed all the emotions that we've been suppressing and stepping down and pushing aside for all these years. If you try to bypass, the anger and the sadness and the grief and all that stuff, and you just try to go straight to forgiveness, you try to heal, like, oh, I'm just going to heal and then I'm just going to forgive. It's going to have repercussions. It's going to have repercussions on you because it's not going to be authentic. And it's probably going to create even more resistance in your own system. And those emotions that need to be processed and acknowledged are just going to bubble up somewhere else in your life. So it's really, I recommend, give yourself permission to put off forgiveness until you've really worked through your trauma and you've really felt anger and sadness and resentment and grief and all the things that go along with this, to the level that maybe has even made you a little uncomfortable, that you've had some discomfort with it. And I highly recommend that you do this with some kind of professional, whether that's a mental health professional, a coaching professional, an energy medicine professional, whatever kind of professional you're comfortable with, but someone who's trauma informed and can help you through this process. I myself use energy psychology, EFT, and meditation for myself and for my clients. And I found this to be a really common thing, is that more likely people don't want to feel the anger that comes up. Especially, like I said, with people on the spiritual path, we've been taught that anger is like wrong. We shouldn't feel, we shouldn't feel anger. And I think that that's a little misunderstood. And I want to speak to that a little bit too, because I want to speak to the fact that, while maybe spiritual practices and spiritual teachings say that we should put anger aside or we should release it, that is true. But however, I don't think that those teachings meant, don't feel your feelings, to deny your feelings or to deny, how an experience has created an emotional experience inside your body. We can't deny that, and we have to experience it. What I think that these teachings are saying is that we have to let it go. We have to let it go, as in we have to let it move through our body and then let it go back to the universe or to life so it can be processed. So it doesn't necessarily mean that we just forget about it, or we just, saying we forgive someone erases it. I think that's a really big misconception. And that's kind of like called like spiritual bypass, a little bit of a spiritual bypass. So I recommend this. I recommend that consider that someone recently told me that their definition of forgiveness was releasing the expectation that it ever could have been any different, whatever it was, but that person could have been different, or that the experience, the event, whatever it was, could have been different. It's when you can get to a place where you just release that expectation that it ever could have been different, is like a form of forgiveness. And I think that that's a really wise way to approach it. And I think that when you approach it like that, it's very organic and that takes time. So I guess with that being said, if you're trying to forgive someone, before you actually let go of the expectation that they ever could have been different or they ever will be different towards you, that could have been changed or avoided somehow, then it's probably not time for forgiveness yet. You've got a little more work to do. So I hope this has been helpful for you today. And I just want to remind you, if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please do so if you feel it's beneficial to you. I have a couple ways that you can support the channel and work with me. I have a Patreon account if you'd like to just check that out, if you want to support the work that goes into my channel. I've also opened up something new called the Heart Shine Healing Circle, which is a monthly membership where you get on a Zoom call with me and the whole Heart Shine family. And we do guided healing meditations, we do tapping, we do energy exercises, and I just give a little talk and there's some Q&A. And we do this every month on Zoom. And if you want to be a part of that, you can check out the link below and you can learn more about that. So I hope to see you there, and I hope to see you out there in the community. Thank you for being a part of the Heart Shine community. Have a beautiful day.